friends, it's Deanna here, and today Oh, you like my scrunchie? Well, good, because that's what we're going to do today. Today we're going to be making scrunchies. I'm going to show you 3 different ways to make scrunchies. Super easy, super cute, and super fun. Let's do it. Alright friends, for this tutorial you're going to need to either print the pattern piece for your scrunchie. This is a free download from Ellie and Mac. Or you can go ahead and measure your fabric. It's going to end up being 21 by 3.5 inches. So 21 inches by 3.5 inches. Then you'll need a tool to cut with. You'll need some elastic. You can use a 7-inch piece of elastic, a 1/4 inch elastic like it asks you to do on your pattern, or you can use hair ties. You're going to need, if you want to do the hot glue version, you're going to need some hot glue and a hot glue gun. You're going to need some fabric to cut out, and you're going to need your sewing machine. And then this little jar right here is to help me hold my scrunchie when I'm doing my hot glue method. So let's go ahead and do it. Alright, first we're going to go ahead and cut our fabric, and I'm going to cut all 3 at the same time. I am using a double brush poly, a hatchie, and a cotton woven fabric. You don't have to use stretch fabric for all of them. You can use stretch fabric. You can use any type of fabric, really. I've used all kinds, and it all works. You can even use old sheets or whatever you want to use. So let's go ahead and cut it all out by using either our pattern or your measurements. For our first scrunchie, we're going to use our elastic. We're going to put that in a little pot over here, and we'll get back to it in a little bit. We're going to open our fabric, and we're going to fold it right sides together at the long raw edge. And then you can use whatever you have, pins or clips, to pin your fabric together. We're going to go over to our sewing machine. And either you're going to do this with a sewing machine, or if you want to do a serger, we're going to sew it closed all the way, but we're going to leave about a 1/2 inch allowance on each side. So we're going to start a 1/2 inch in and end a 1/2 inch out. So we'll just go ahead and sew it. All right, we're going to start about 1/2 inch down. So we'll leave a 1/2 inch gap up there, and then we're going to sew our side. Then we're going to stop about a 1/2 inch away from that edge. Alright, once I've sewn it all the way, we're going to turn our hair tie. Once our hair tie is turned right side out, we're going to meet our ends together, right sides together, and I kind of sewed this one a little bit more than I wanted to at the edge, and that's okay, but we're just going to meet those raw edges, those ends together right here, and just put a little clip or a pin because we're going to sew those together all the way around. Alright, now that we've sewn it all around, we're going to tuck it inside, and our scrunchie is almost done. All we gotta do now is grab our elastic and fit it through. I'm gonna use a safety pin to do that. Now that I've come at the other side, I can unclip that piece of elastic, and we're gonna go ahead and sew those 2 ends of the elastic together with a zigzag stitch. I just went back and forth with my zigzag stitch. Then I'm gonna fit it right in there. And then I'm going to tuck in those edges, and I'm going to top stitch that area close. Once that's top stitched, we have our first hair tie, our scrunchie. Yay! Time to move on to our second method, and for this one I'm going to go ahead and just use a hair tie. If you want to use your elastic, that's fine. All you're going to do is you're going to grab your elastic, you're going to turn it around, you're going to zigzag stitch the end so it's in a circle. We're going to put our elastic band or elastic right at the edge, and we're going to fold our fabrics right sides together, leaving that hair tie caught in there. Once I get that hair tie, it's right at the corner, and we're going to fold it right sides together, and it's gonna get cut right there in the corner. And on this side of the hair tie, we're going to start sewing it together. And as we go, we're going to be moving it forward so that we can keep that hair tie trapped in there, but we're just going to be sewing along. So we're kind of putting that hair tie inside of it, trapping it. So let's go sew it. We are finished. You see, we sew it all the way around. Now we're gonna go ahead and turn it all the way around. Once we're done turning and we see our raw edges, we're going to fold one of the raw edges in about a ½ an inch in, and then we're gonna grab the other side and I'm gonna tuck it right in. Once that's tucked in, all we're going to do is we're going to top stitch that edge closed. And it's tucked in there. We're gonna scoot it around and our hair tie, our second hair tie is done. Super easy. This method was super quick. You just gotta trim all these little pieces of thread that are left behind, but it's super cute. Our third and final method is our no-sew method. Now, and actually this is a no-sew method, but you could also sew it if you wanted to. You could top stitch all around, and literally you could do any of these methods that we did already. You could do them with the hot glue gun or with fabric glue or whatever. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and right sides together. Get rid of all these little extra fuzzies. Right sides together, we're gonna match up that short raw edge, and we're going to put some glue right here and glue that together. Once my hot glue gun heats up. My hot glue gun is hot, let's glue it. Honestly, you all, this glue gun is about, no lie, 10 years old, and it was a $5 glue gun, and I still have it 10 years. And it's dying. It's leaking everywhere, but that's okay. We'll just put something underneath it to leak on. Now that my side seam is sewn, I'm going to grab my iron and I'm going to steam a 1/4 inch seam allowance down. So I'm going to fold it down 1/4 inch to the right side. To the wrong side, and steam it down, and that's going to help me when I'm gluing. So you'll see in the next step how that helps me. I'm gonna do it on both sides. All right, this is where it gets real fun. So now that you have your little seam allowance right there, I'm going to fit my little scrunchie, you know, like, what is it? My fabric around the jar. It doesn't matter how big the jar is. It could be this big, it could be smaller. My hair tie only stretches so much, so this is the size that I got. Well, I didn't get it, I already had it, but you just wanna make sure that your hair tie is going to fit around it or your elastic. Okay, now it's sticking straight out. And right here where you have your seam allowance, you're going to start to put some glue right there and glue those two seam allowances down. And that's it. We're gonna go all the way around and glue it down. Now, if you wanted to top stitch, you can just put it together and top stitch all the way around with your sewing machine. That's all there is to it. Here's a closer view. There is my seam allowance. Grab in my glue, put in a little bit of glue on that seam allowance. Then I'm gonna grab the top seam allowance and I'm going to glue it right to that bottom seam allowance, or hem allowance really. Try not to glue your fingers in there like I just did. And then we're gonna keep going. All right, we are done with this version, and I am gonna tell you, if you are making this version with a child, please use caution, or you do the hot glue, or use some fabric glue instead so that they don't burn their fingers or end up with hot glue all over them. Then also, if you wanted to do this instead and have them top stitch with a needle and thread, that's also a great way to do it. But it's nice and finished and super cute as well. all done with our scrunchies. Tell me, which one was your favorite? Comment below and let me know. And I think my favorite was our second one that we did, the one with the hair tie where we sewed all the way around it. That one seemed to be like the easiest version, and it turned out super cute as well. But let me know which one you like best, and subscribe if you haven't, so you can be entered for our giveaway of $50 Ellie and Mac gift certificate that we do monthly. I hope you have a great day. Comment, like, share. I'll see you all next time. Bye.